probably thinking, hey Xander, aren't there like multiple, much more important records you could be reviewing right now? To which I'd reply, yes, but fuck you. I want to review some pirate metal. That's right, hello everybody, my name is Xander, and today we are taking a look at the new Alestorm record, Curse of the Crystal Coconut. Okay, these guys are a little more obscure than what I normally talk about, so I feel like a bit of an intro's in store. Alestorm are a pirate metal band, that's right, a pirate metal band. They make metal music about being pirates. And while you may think they are joking, allow me to tell you just how serious these guys are about it. Their lead singer, instead of screaming or singing, R's his way through the song, speaking in a pirate voice for the entirety of the album. They are so power metal, they actually have more keyboards than guitars. At their shows, instead of having mosh pits, they have rowing pits. Their fans will sit down in rows and row. Like, metal's already known for being pretty showy. It's not like the idea of a gimmicky metal band is anything new, but you will be surprised just how hard these guys commit to their image. But don't worry, because they kind of know how absurd this is. On their older albums, something that somewhat bothered me was the fact that they were taking it pretty seriously. Each song would, like, tell a story of a crew that got, like, cursed by something, or a special place that they would all go to, like an island or a bar or something. Whereas for this album, their song's about how they don't care, they're aware that they've sold out, all they want is money, and how their boat is better than your boat. That's right, they wrote a diss track on your boat. The lyrics to which read, your pirate ship can eat a bag of dicks, your pirate ship can eat a giant bag of dicks. Poetry. Now this can be a bit of a mixed bag, I'll be honest. On tracks like the opener, it's just great. Their chanting of Treasure Chest Party Quest is exactly what that track needs. It's genuinely on par with Run Away With Me or Let's Get Physical. It is that good of a chant. And of course on the aforementioned Shitboat and Pirate Metal Drinking Crew, the lyrics to which go, we are the pirate metal drinking crew, we think you suck and we hate you too. We are the pirate metal drinking crew, we don't give a fuck, we think you all suck, fuck you. I'd say you can't write this, but they did. And as it probably works out by now, they're not taking this anywhere near as seriously as they did some of their older stuff. Now this is both a good thing and a bad thing. On some of the tracks, like the second to last track, Wooden Leg, I actually really enjoyed because of its, not seriousness, but its committal to its story. Unlike the vagaries of the songs that we've mentioned thus far, it has like an actual plot. It's about someone who had all their limbs chopped off by a Chinese guy, and so he had to travel to Japan just to get revenge, and then he kills him, but then he unleashes some crazy Japanese curse that like curses his limbs, and then the only way he escapes it is by chopping off his head to escape him from his own body. Like I said, they don't take it too seriously. Now, if you were to look at, say, their debut, The Curse of Captain Morgan, it would have been chocked full of stories like this. But on this album, it's more pop tracks, and the lyrics can really vary. Some, like I've mentioned, are good. Others are Tortuga, which is a trap song. Pirate metal meets trap. Which will probably bring me to the backings. They are also both an improvement and kind of a step back from some of their old material. You may be kind of shocked by listening to this, but these guys actually used to be kind of thrashy and pretty intense. There are some moments like that, like at the end of Wooden Leg and at the end of Treasure Chest Party Quest, said it right that time. They can get pretty intense, the latter of which kind of has him R-ing his way into a scream that's pretty intense, and the former of which almost sounding like a movie soundtrack. They kind of have lost some of the grit that they once had. They're treading solos, dark riffs, and genuinely amazing percussion. Seriously, go back and listen to something like Captain Morgan. The percussion is just amazing. It's kind of been lost, but it's a trade-off. Their production is a lot more cleaner, which leads to a kind of danceable party mood, but in becoming cleaner, which is technically speaking a pro, they've lost a bit of their edge that they once had. And as I said earlier, they're swapping out for the very intense thrashing guitars for a lot more keyboards, synthesizing anything from accordions to violins to like entire orchestras and like obscure instruments like the hurdy-gurdy. It's both a good and a bad thing, which is kind of a theme you'll be noticing. Variety is always good, but you can't help but notice they've lost some of the crunch they once had, which overall sums up this album. There's a lot of variety, a lot of fun, a lot of crazy instrumentation, but after a few listens, you kind of lose it. I want to talk about a comment a guy named Jay Morris left that's kind of been getting a lot of traction. He says that listening to Alestorm is kind of like gum. The first time you listen to them, it's just like this explosion of craziness and flavour and you can't get enough, but after a while it kind of subsides and you realise it's little more than a gimmick. I don't agree with this wholeheartedly. I still really enjoy this record, but I can't help but at least see where he's coming from. I believe that there's a balance with this band. Sometimes you want to hear something more serious, sometimes you want to hear something more silly and playful, and I don't think they've ever truly struck that balance. When they're being serious and they're talking about all these crazy bars they go to and all these pirate islands, it can kind of get boring quickly, especially when it gets, like, weirdly depressing when they talk about how they've been cursed and their life is terrible. Like, that's not what I'm listening to pirate metal for. But at the same time, if they had an album of nothing but shit boat, I'd kind of be left feeling empty. But at the end of the day, if you want seriousness, their old albums are still there, and I at least see this as a step forward, especially in such a niche subgenre that you can't imagine leads to much variety. And so, despite the fact that they're lacking some of what they used to have, I still really enjoyed it. What's here is fun. It's pirate metal. I honestly don't expect ultra-long storylines to them, I just expect some decent riffs and having a fun time. And for that, they actually succeed pretty well. So I'm ultimately gonna disagree here. I enjoyed this album quite a lot for what it's worth. I'm giving it a strong 6 out of 10. Nothing crazy, the instrumentals won't keep me coming back forever. It's hardly going down as a classic, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was very fun. And the Easter eggs, like the whole thing being about Donkey Kong with multiple Easter eggs in the background, the 8-bit remixes, the stupid music videos, the goddamn rowing. Honestly, it's kind of hard to hate this album. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this album. More reviews coming up soon of, like, actually important albums. If you're curious, this I Listen to Death Grips Please Think I'm Cool hoodie is on offer in my store. I mostly made these just to wear them myself, but if you want one, feel free to grab one below. Pirate out. How do I end my videos?